Hello, welcome to day 5. Holy cow, we've made a lot of progress, and I really hope you have kept up with this and have been doing some of the work. And if you haven't actually been writing it out, I hope you have been at least thinking about it and processing some of this information, because trust me, it's, like I said in the very beginning, change is a process, and this is really good stuff that will help you in that process. Today, ta-da, we are talking about how change happens and the power of threes. 3 is kind of a magical, important number to think about when you are thinking about change. First of all, every 3 days, our emotions will cycle through. If you come and see me for an appointment, if you take a class that you love or sign up for Weight Watchers or something like that, your first 3 days you're going to kind of be on a high. Bye, I feel so good, I'm totally committed, this is wonderful. Day 3, you're going to crash and you're going to get negative. You just will. It's just the way that it happens, and it's helpful to just know that it's normal to be negative. You're going to, read the book, see me, do the program, whatever, and 3 days later, you're just going to have that crash that this was stupid and that was a waste of money and I don't know why I did it. And that's normal. And if you kind of expect those cycles, then you will know after that 3rd day, things will kind of start cycling back up for you. So that's the first thing, power of threes. 3 days, 3 weeks. 3 weeks into your program too is also a normal time to kind of backslide and to crash and to get depressed and to think it's stupid. We think things are stupid a lot. Just so you know, that's one of those defenses that our mind throws up. Oh, this is really stupid and I'm not going to do this. That tends to happen at about the 3-week mark. Guess what happens after that? You get back on track, and then the 3rd month, you also have a low point. The 3rd month, things get difficult. That follows through the 6th month, and then the 9th month, and then you've got your year point. So, like I said, change is a process. You're starting this January. The habits that you're creating right now should be pretty firmly entrenched by January 2018. That will have given you the chance to go through your 3rd day, your 3rd week, and then those 3-month cycles to cycle you all the way around to a year. By the time you reach a year, if you have done consistent steps along the way, that change is pretty much going to be implemented into your life. Not that it will be easy forever and you'll never struggle with things, but those habits will be really ingrained. I'm sure you've heard it takes 31 days to create a habit, and yes, there's truth to that, but there's a little more to that. You have to experience the entire year, the entire cycle of everything to really call that a true habit and true new habit. It's like when somebody passes away, they say wait an entire year before making any changes. You want to experience the anniversary. You want to experience holidays. You want to experience seasons. You want to experience all of those little things that can trip you up. And that's the same way with creating your New Year's resolution. Whether it's the habit of being a non-smoker or being a non-drinker or eating differently or exercising or not biting your nails or not stuttering or not wetting the bed or whatever it is that you want to do, you need to give yourself an entire year so you can ingrain those habits in. If it's getting in shape and eating, it'll give you the opportunity to experience birthdays, parties, holidays, weddings, funerals, whatever it is. It'll give you the habits through all these different things, through vacation time, through staying at other people's houses. So then you really have developed a habit and you know how to handle yourself in a variety of situations. So by this time next year, you will have a successful, new, wonderful habit, provided that you've done the work. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about, kind of in terms of that powers of 3, is whenever you're creating a new habit, you're integrating it into your life. If you have ever learned how to play a musical instrument or speak a foreign language or do math even, whatever it is you're learning, you can learn that thing Like you can learn how to read music. You can learn, F-A-C-E, and then the lines are E-G-B-D-F. You can learn that and you can know that. And then you can find the keys on the piano and you can know middle C, D, E, F, G, and you can know that. And just because you know what the keys are on the piano and you know what they are on the sheet of music, it doesn't mean that you can just sit down and play. That's really hard to do. You have to practice. It's clunky. It's awkward. Same thing when learning how to speak a foreign language. You learn the words, you learn the phrases, you learn sentence structure. But to just come out and start speaking doesn't really happen. It's awkward. It's really challenging. That's how it is whenever you're learning a new habit, whatever that habit is. So it doesn't matter what your resolution is. Just because you know what to do and when to do it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy to implement. And just because it's not easy to implement doesn't mean that you're not succeeding at it, even when you're failing at it some of the time, if that makes sense. So, one of the examples I like to give my hypnotherapy clients is brushing your teeth. Most of us pick up the toothbrush with our right hand. Most of us insert the toothbrush into one quadrant of our mouth, lower left, lower right, top left, top right, and we brush in the same pattern. But most of us pick it up, put on the toothpaste, and stick that toothbrush in our mouth. Nobody taught us where to put that toothbrush or which hand to pick it up with. It's just the hand that we do. Creating a new habit would be picking it up with the opposite hand and putting the toothbrush, instead of like bottom right, putting it in on the top left, putting it in a totally different spot. Your conscious mind is going to say, hey, from this point forward, I am a left-hand toothbrusher and I put the brush on the top left instead of being right-handed bottom right. But guess what? Brushing your teeth is a pretty automatic thing. You're going to go into the bathroom, you're going to automatically grab it. You're probably going to be a few scrubs in before you realize, I did it again. And then you're going to switch and you're going to start over and you're going to have to retrain yourself. It doesn't mean that you failed when you remember. It just lets you know that it's kicking in, it just hasn't kicked in. There's also going to be times when you're going to brush your entire mouth, all of your teeth, and you're not even going to remember that you were creating that new habit until you're driving to work an hour later. And that's okay. That's all part of the process. So just be aware of that. If you say you're going to do whatever, not bite your nails, not pick your cuticles, not stutter, not whatever, expect to fail. Failing is part of it. And because you fail, doesn't give you the excuse to quit and say, oh, I totally failed. I ate 3 donuts for breakfast this morning. The day is shot. No, no, no. The day is shot. You forgot that you were going to eat healthy and you messed up breakfast, but that has 0 impact on the rest of the day, nor does it mean that you have to go to the gym and sit on the treadmill for 3 or 4 hours to try to burn off the donuts, because that doesn't work. It just means you messed up for that one moment. Move on. It's not a big deal. So think about your habits. Think about, try that with the toothbrushing at home. I mean, just think about how that is and it'll make yourself feel better. It's not a failure if you forget to do it. It's not a failure if you forget halfway in and then remember. It's just creating a habit. 3 steps forward, or 1 step forward, 3 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back. You're going to go in those little patterns. You're going to have 3 meals that you eat great, 1 that you tank on. Then you'll tank an entire day and then you'll be fine. It doesn't really matter which way you go. Just know that that's going to happen. Know that you're going to have the gains and you're going to have the slides. And it's all normal. What you're going for is long haul. If you are creating that new toothbrushing habit, your first week might be the most difficult. The second week, you'll remember more often and it'll work. Your third week, you'll even remember more often. By your 4th week, it might be pretty well ingrained that you brush with the left hand. Again, that 3rd week, you might slide. 4th week, it might pick back up. It doesn't really matter. Just notice the general trajectory. Are you doing better overall? Or are you doing about the same overall? or are you doing worse overall? If you're doing worse overall, it means there's some blocks in there and that you need to address some other things. So what? Be grateful that be grateful that you know that you are doing worse, so you realize that you have blocks and you can address those blocks, and then you can create the change. Okay? If you're dieting or exercising, doesn't matter if you have a bad day. Try harder, stick with it, see what happens. If there's always a block around a certain thing, yay, you've discovered a block, and address it. So that is today. Change is a series of small steps. Power of 3. Expect things to fall apart on the 3rd day, the 3rd week, the 3rd month. Give yourself an entire year to implement the change that you desire. Be kind to yourself. Be consistent. Be persistent. And take it for what it is. If you have a great day, yay, you have a great day. If you have a bad day, boo, you have a bad day. Don't put too much weight into either good or bad. Just take it for what it is. So we only have a couple of days left. Tomorrow, ta-da, we're going to do the self-hypnosis. And then the last day, I'm going to do a hypnosis for you. For the self-hypnosis, this is your homework. You need to pick a word that personifies everything you want to accomplish. If you want to lose weight, you might pick a word that's light or healthy or fit or powerful. Something that personifies how you want to feel, not necessarily how you want to look, but how you want to feel. If your goal is something else, like if it's stop smoking, how do you want to feel around that? Do you want to feel clear? Do you want to feel healthy? If it's nail biting, cuticle picking, hair pulling, twisting, give yourself the word about how you want to feel. And just think about that. And you don't have to absolutely pick your word right now, but just think about it so you are ready for tomorrow. Have a fantastic night. I will see you tomorrow.